Welcome to the Rooted Soul TV channel. I am Jamila, holistic energy healer, licensed professional counselor, and owner of Rooted Soul. Rooted Soul TV is your home to learn about energy flow, tools to release energetic blocks, improve mental wellness, and live in balance. Rooted Soul was intentionally created to provide a virtual, holistic wellness space that uses a decolonized approach. At Rooted Soul, we specialize in indigenous practices for holistic healing and energy wellness. Subscribe today and begin your healing journey with Rooted Soul. Healing is stronger in community. Let's grow together in rooted living. Join the Rooted Soul family where wellness, wisdom, and energy unite. You can also learn more about Rooted Soul and the services we provide by visiting our website link provided below. Welcome back to the Rooted Soul podcast series. And today we are going to be talking about temperance. The sacred dance of balance. The number 14, which when you add it up is the number 5, the number of change, which beautifully flows with the previous energy we talked about, the death card, where you finally take that leap to go into the unknown and now thus creates the change. And now, because it's a change, it's a new beginning, right? We have to form our balance, our intentions, like our vision for how we're going to move forward in this unknown. And thus is the temperance energy. So you've done the hard part now, right? You allowed yourself to end certain things or everything, right, to start anew. And you are now entering into the space of the unknown. And when we enter into the space of the unknown, this is where the temperance energy comes into play. The temperance energy is like a guide, or will be a guide through this unknown that we're going through now that we have allowed the death card energy or the death energy to end some things, for new things to begin. And so the temperance energy is like a guide through that process or through that journey from a place of wellness. The temperance energy allows for bringing a balanced energy. It allows our helps and supports and setting intentions on this unknown journey. It brings the energy of hope, of self-care. It's an energy of tools that we can pull from that are going to be valuable and important as we enter into and begin this journey into the unknown. I know for me, my relationship with the temperance card, it has its cycles. I've had some mistakes with utilizing temperance energy, and then I've had some moments where it's flowed. The temperance energy is this energy of wisdom, and sometimes it can be hard. Well, at least I know for me, it can be hard to trust my wisdom. I think part of that is the structure of this society where for people of color, for Black people, for Black women in particular, we have always been told the lie that we are less than and weaker, right? And so that our wisdom is irrelevant or doesn't matter or is unimportant when that is the furthest from the truth. But because of that, sometimes it's been hard. And there's this song that I'm telling my age again, but there's this song from back in the day in the 90s where it was like my mind is playing tricks on me. That's what sometimes has happened for me where I doubt my wisdom. And so because of this, where I'll end up making some mistakes, doubting my wisdom. And when this happens, what ends up happening, or what I've noticed, is you try to reverse the death that you just did in your life, right? Like the endings that you just did, you try to reverse it. You try to go back to it, or you get preoccupied with something, or you introduce something into your life that has nothing to do with the whole reason why you ended what you ended in your life. So I think that sometimes that can happen, and we can struggle with trusting our wisdom. What has your experience been with wisdom? I would love to hear from the community. How are you with honoring and trusting your wisdom? How are you with honoring and trusting other wisdom, like from elders or ancestral wisdom? And, that can be tricky with the elders, depending on if you have an elder in your life that you have watched from the sidelines as a younger person, right? Watch them evolve and transition and more into their spiritual power and just more into themselves. Sometimes we lack that, and that's something that oftentimes, as the global majority, needs to be mourned, because oftentimes when we don't have that in our community, it's because of colonization and being missionized. And so they have been so stripped from their ancestral ways. But if you do have an elder, like, how are you with honoring when that elder gives you wisdom? How are you with honoring your ancestral wisdom? I would love to hear what the community's experience has been on their healing journey working with the Temperance energy. So please add and share in the comments section. So the correspondence for the Temperance energy, Temperance is ruled by Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a fire sign. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is a fortunate planet, right? Benevolent planet. And Sagittarius is energy of wisdom, coupled with Gemini energy of learning. And so we know that Gemini is in the mid of spring, right? It's I guess not mid of spring. It's the mutable. So it's the ending. It's like the beginning of, it ends, we end spring and begin summer in Gemini energy. And Sagittarius energy is kind of similar. We end fall and we are beginning winter in Sagittarius energy. And so it's this balance of learning, and then from that learning, using the Sagittarius energy for like using wisdom with it. Sagittarius energy is the fiery seeker of truth and expansion. Sagittarius energy pushes us to explore beyond limitations, rather through travel, learning, or spiritual exploration. Through Temperance, this Sagittarian fire is tempered by patience and wisdom, teaching us that true expansion happens when we learn to balance desire with discipline, passion with purpose. And that kind of leads us into how we know when this energy is open in us and flowing in us. We have this balance with desire and discipline, passion, and purpose. And because of that, like, we're able to make moves in wisdom, and we're able to actually see the fruit of our labor from that, right? So when we're talking about this from this continued journey from the death energy of now, I've entered into the unknown. it's scary when we go into the unknown, right? And so how I was saying the temperance energy can be used as a guide and tool to help us through navigating that. This is what I mean. Like, you can pull from this wisdom, right? And so, and you make choices and decisions, you make moves from that wisdom, from a place of balance and harmony. And then you're able to see the results of that. And then you keep moving through this journey that you are embarking on. And so it's when this energy is open and flowing, there is timing, like you are aligned with timing. There's this patience to know when to pause and when to go. There is peace in the unknown, right? Like, and there is this trusting in self in the unknown, trusting not just in self and your wisdom, right? There, but also trusting in the guidance that you're receiving from universal consciousness, source, creator, God, whichever word that you use, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your soul group. There is this comfortability in knowing who you are. Like, you're very clear in who you are and who you are not. And that helps you in navigating the unknown. These are some indicators that this energy is flowing in you. Some signs of blockage: when the temperance energy is blocked or out of alignment, you may experience impatience and extremes. I don't know if you've ever heard this statement, like, you're too smart for your own britches. Like, that's like an old saying. I don't know if you ever heard like an older auntie or your grandma say that, where it's not that you don't have the learning and the knowledge or the wisdom. It's just you being foolish with it, right? Like, it's making you go through these swinging between overindulgence or rigid restriction. So it's like it's not balanced. Another indicator that this energy may be blocked is inner conflict, feeling torn between two paths or identities without finding harmony. Back to what I was saying, where you are not settled in who you are, right? Like, the work hasn't been done yet, or it's still in progress or process, right? Of who I am and who I am not, owning all of me, right? Like, radically accepting with non-judgment and unconditional love all of me, right? And when that is not there, there is this inner conflict. Another one is avoidance, refusing to confront what needs balance, instead escaping through distraction. And that kind of goes back to when I was talking about my personal journey with the temperance energy and how I've had some mistakes. You notice I say mistakes because I've learned on my spiritual journey, everything is cyclical, right? Everything will return back to balance. Fortune is always with me. And so when I go around a cycle again, I have the opportunity to amend and pivot and change what I missed the last time. So that's what I mean by mistakes. And when I was sharing earlier about how my own journey with the temperance energy, how sometimes I have not trusted my wisdom, and because of that, end up getting preoccupied in something that doesn't even have nothing to do with what I was supposed to be doing. That's what I mean by instead, like this avoidance, you end up escaping through distraction. So blocked temperance shows up as imbalance, chaos, or resistance to integration. A refusal to let your inner alchemist blend life's paradoxes into wholeness. So when we talk about the spiritual lesson, I think it's important for me to share that when we talk about these energies, they're not monolithic. Everything is integrated and flowing together. We're just breaking them apart, are separating them out and talking about them. And you can have moments in your journey, your healing journey, or coming into wholeness journey, where more than one of those energies that you have opened up inside of you and now are utilizing for your harmony and balance in life. You may have more than one that you're working with at the same time. And so I wanted to bring that up as we talk about this spiritual lesson for the temperance, because the temperance teaches that life is a sacred dance, not a race. Its energy invites you to slow down, trust divine timing, and embrace the middle way. The lesson is about cultivating patience, balance, and allowing transformation to unfold gently instead of forcing outcomes. And so you can see how the spiritual lessons are lessons that you continue to gain along the way may require or ask of you for more depths, more things that may need to be shed from you, are something that you need to introduce into your life, right? Like, this is the sacred dance that can happen, and which is why it's not a race, it's a journey. And so I think that it's important to kind of reiterate that, like, we are whole beings. So all is within us. Even if we are working with one particular, or learning how to align with one particular energy, other energies can be at play as well. Temperance whispers, wholeness comes when you integrate all parts of yourself into harmony. Temperance whispers, wholeness comes when you integrate all parts of yourself into harmony. And that, to me, really sums up what the healing journey is. It's coming into wholeness from a place of radical acceptance, unconditional love, and non-judgment, integrating all parts of ourselves into order, balance, and harmony. It's returning to origin, who we really are. And that requires patience with self, right? Because it's a journey depending on where we are in our walks of life, what we've had to walk out of, meaning whatever traumas we've come from our families of origins and communities. As the global majority, we all collectively are healing from colonization and oppression, particularly for Black people, enslavement. So we have things that we're healing from, but the temperance energy is like this guide that keeps reminding you that that is who you really are, and that is thus like what your journey is, coming into wholeness, integrating all parts of yourself into harmony. So some energetic medicine and alignment practices are rather ways of working to stay aligned with temperance energy. Focuses on integration and moderation in all aspects of life. So some herbs that we can introduce and are utilized if they already are a part of your life, when you are wanting to align with the temperance energy. Chamomile. Chamomile calms the mind and restores inner peace. Lemon balm, soothing for the nervous system, and promotes harmony. And it also helps in protecting your immunity and keeping you well. I love lemon balm. And sage. Sage purifies energy and clears extremes. And you've heard me talk about, you'll hear a lot of these herbs repeated. And of course, there's more than just what I'm sharing. I'm just sharing a few. And these herbs can be utilized in tea form, our aromatherapy, are putting in like a spiritual bath for yourself, as an essential oil. Some yoga and movement that can be beneficial. Some poses that align with temperance energy are opening up your channels so that the temperance energy can flow through you. The tree pose for grounding and balance. Seated forward fold, which encourages patience and surrender. And then, as always, that breath work, right? You can do the alternate nostril breathing, which is, it balances left and right energy channels. We know that we are yin and yang, left and right. Left, actually from a yogi principle, the left side of us is the feminine side and the right side is the, masculine side. But we know that left brain, right brain, left brain is masculine, right brain is feminine. So we're just talking about from the aspect of the side of the body, it kind of flips in yogi principle. But so breath work using the alternate nostril breathing, and you can YouTube it to get an example of it. I think it would be not beneficial for me to try to describe it without you being able to see it. And so I would encourage you, if you are not familiar with different types of breath work, to Google that or YouTube it to get an example. Some other practices are daily mindful rituals like tea ceremonies or journaling to bring balance, practicing moderation, right? Because again, the temperance is about balance, wisdom, everything is about balance. Everything about healing is returning to balance. So practicing moderation in diet, work, and spiritual practices. And then engaging in creative alchemy, like painting, music, or writing to integrate inner opposites. So those are some ways of working to help to align with the temperance energy. In closing, I always want to leave you with an affirmation that aligns with the energy that we talked about. And that affirmation is, I am exactly where I am supposed to be on my journey. I am flowing into my destiny. I am exactly where I am supposed to be on my journey. I am flowing into my destiny. Temperance represents harmony, moderation, and integration. It is the alchemy where opposites meet to create something greater than the sum of their parts. Its energy encourages us to blend the spiritual with the physical, the inner with the outer, the masculine with the feminine. Temperance reminds us that balance is not a fixed point, but a fluid state of being, like water pouring endlessly between two cups. Thank you for visiting The Rooted Soul TV. Please again like, share, and subscribe. If you are in need of additional support on your healing journey, please visit Rooted Soul's website to learn more about our services. And remember, community, to stay rooted, stay whole, and stay in your soul. Ashe.